Hello, everyone, and I should say welcome back, but it's a welcome back to me because I have been off of YouTube almost for the entirety of August. So it is good to be back. I'm back to the grind because I have a lot of fun doing this just for the fun of it. So I have got a packed schedule of streams for September, and we're starting it off with a rain check with a good friend of mine who I was just thinking about today. Was the first time I ever appeared on YouTube was on this guy's channel. So let's bring in my good friend, Nerdporeal Lifeform. What is up? How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you
Yeah.
took me back. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I missed our last appointment. I'll accept penance. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And I do work in Aurora. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy.
So yeah, appreciate you coming on. And yeah, so we had a stream scheduled, I think it was like at the end of July. And I had to hop off one stream to hop on this one. And I'm like, where is he? Messaging him like an hour and a half later or so. He's like, hey, sorry, I fell asleep. So I was like, oh darn. So we're making that up now to have an open mic because I thought you had, but I was looking back through it, and I don't think you've been on open mic before. You've only been on party chat.
I don't know. I have. I guess I have. I guess I haven't.
So what I was getting mixed up with is I think when I came on your channel for Chillporeal, and I was thinking that was open mic because they're very similar formats and it's very laid back, just a casual conversation. So I was looking,
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh,
I have to. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I have to have some sort of plan. I have to know the guest. I have to know what makes them tick. I have to know what they like. Like, I'd love to talk with you about, like, why New Trek and why Star Trek is great, New Trek sucks, but I don't think you have much to add to that. So I mean, you could probably pull an opinion out of your ass, but I don't think I don't think you'd be comfortable doing that. I'd rather, let the guests be happy and talk about something that's, within their wheelhouse.
yeah, I am not terribly well versed on Star Trek, so this was a long time ago, so I don't remember much of it, but I did watch a lot of Next Generation decades ago. I watched a good chunk of Voyager.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
seen all of the movies from Generations on.
Okay.
The
TNG
only
films.
one that I've seen in its entirety of the classic Treks is the motion picture, the original. And then I kind of half paid attention to Wrath of Khan while watching it in a watch party within the last year or so. So I wasn't really like focused on it because it was on my iPad while I was playing something. So, yeah, we were kind of talking about Trek behind the scenes. So I'm not going to say it's good, but I did enjoy the J.J. Abrams Treks. I have no idea how canon breaking I'm assuming they are to the hardcore Trek people. But I did have fun with them.
I wouldn't say they're canon break. Well, I mean, they're not canon breaking. They're just dumb. It's basically Star Wars. Like you have
That's why I liked it.
a big giant drill that drills into the heart of the plant, and they drop this red matter that has no basis in science, and then quantum singularity, and it's gone. Vulcan's gone, baby. Vulcan's the new Alderaan.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
I mean, I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I liked it too, but it hasn't. When I go back to the earlier Trek, the highbrow stuff, and the fact that I'm older now than I was a sweet summer child of 24 when 09 came out. So what did I know? I mean, the thing, what I liked it a lot because it was the one time I got to see Nimoy. First time I seen a Star Trek movie with Nimoy in it.
Okay.
Because Nimoy was actually in that one, and I mean, it was such an experience when he appeared on screen, and the entire theater cheered seeing him. Because I didn't see any of the original six was from 1979 to 1991. I was too young for all of them, or I wasn't even alive.
Yeah.
For half of them. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I saw the TNG. I saw 3 of the TNG films in theaters. So that's kind of where I got my start.
First Contact in theater, and then
yeah, same here.
The I think I saw all 3 of the were all 3 of the recent ones J.J. Abrams or just the first one?
I mean, the first two were Abrams, and the third one was Justin Lin.
Okay,
But I
I
mean,
did.
Abrams still produced.
Gotcha. But yeah, of the ones before J.J. Abrams, yeah, the only one I saw was First Contact. I do remember seeing that in theaters. But yeah, I'm not a big Trek person, but I am a big, as you know, big Star Wars fan. Real Star Wars, before the Dark Times, before Disney.
Yeah, and your buddy Backyard TARDIS and I disagree on a certain show.
Oh, really? Are you talking about TCW?
No,
No.
Picard season 3.
Oh, you're talking Star Trek. Okay, I thought we were talking
Yeah.
Star Wars shows
Yeah.
because I have a very similar situation with another good mutual friend of ours, Angry Canadian. Loves
Angry Canadian?
Yeah, this angry Canadian
He's
guy.
he's just a fake gamer girl. No, no, I wouldn't take any of his takes seriously.
He
Subscribe.
loves the TCW, the Clone Wars 2008, and I enjoyed it, but I don't think it fits, and I don't think it's good. There's a lot of stuff that shouldn't have happened, and the definitive Clone Wars is Tartakovsky Clone Wars from 2003, and he is on the opposite side of that. He did not like Tartakovsky Clone Wars, and he thinks that TCW Clone Wars is superior, and I don't know how a serious Star Wars fan can say that.
So I've gotten this argument too with him. So he hates. I mean, I thought what the best part. I thought the best part of the Tartakovsky was obviously the introduction of General Grievous.
Yes, he's awesome in that, and then they make him such a cuck in TCW.
and then you had the awesome Mace Windu on Dantooine.
Yes, thank you. Mace Windu is awesome.
And what does our mutual friend AC complain about? Oh, he made him too much of a superhero. Oh, it looks so stupid. He's practically a god or something. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what the Jedi were. They were that powerful.
With
and with Mace Windu, it makes sense for me. Him and Yoda are like the top tier.
Yeah, and I want to say this was in one of the Darth Bane books, but it applies to any powerful Force user. There was the motto or something part of the teaching that was with the Force, a Jedi or Sith is never never unarmed, and so yeah, that was the perfect encapsulation of that.
Yeah, I liked both though. But I think I might prefer the Tartakovsky one more. I think it was cooler. I think it made more sense. I think it fit in the canon better.
It fits between episodes 2 and 3 correctly, where TCW does not. There was a lot of cool stuff in TCW.
Because TCW, I mean, the whole reason why Grievous coughs in the first place was because of something that happened in the Tartakovsky show during the attack on Coruscant that leads directly into episode 3. So him coughing in the Clone Wars doesn't make sense.
Yes. So there we go.
They made the Jedi really weak.
They made the Zulu's here. What's up, Shock? Hello. And yeah, I agree. How could you not like 2D Clone Wars cartoon? It's the best. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
so we can agree on that. We can't somehow. He thinks that oatmeal raisin cookies are actual cookies. I don't know where he got that crazy idea. But we can at least agree on Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Oh, Shaka. You're talking about Shaka Zulu?
Yeah, Shaka Zulu. There was a big because that's been like the big online debate the last few weeks is the oatmeal raisin cookie. They did a big oatmeal, or not an oatmeal, but a big cookie ranking stream last night on Devil Made Me Do It's channel, and Shock is sadly a defender of the oatmeal raisin cookie.
I don't have a problem with that. Oatmeal raisin. I mean, I'm more of a chocolate chip. Kind of person, but yeah. I mean,
I can accept that answer, but people say, oatmeal raisin is the best. It's like, you're insane. It's not even a real cookie. You don't put fruit on cookies.
I mean, I'm looking, even though eating sugar and eating anything processed or anything, basically anything at the store that's not like, pure is going to cause inflammation and everything. But, every once in a while, I might want a good, like I just had a couple of cookies myself. I had a Nutter Butter and I had an Oreo. with
Those were
some
both
milk.
on the list
I'm
last
gonna
night.
feel like utter crap in the next couple hours, but you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah, I like both of those. I'm not going to say they're great cookies, but I do like them. But Chuck is saying that show was rigged because I believe Nutter Butter was like A tier and Oreo ended up on D tier, which I'm perfectly fine with either of those, even though I like them. As long as Oatmeal Raisin ended up at the bottom or below bottom, which it did, D tier, I'm cool with that. But anyways, so on to what my channel is really known for is video game discussion.
Oh,
So
video games. Is that no, you mean the stuff that rots your brain?
yes, the stuff that rots your brain. Um, Even less so than just mindless TV. I always thought that was funny. People like,
I think
like, why are you
I think
playing video
TV
games so
rots
long?
your
I think
brain
it's better
more
for you
than
than TV. You're
I
actually interacting and you're thinking.
yes, that's true. That's what I was going to get at. I mean,
I
video
love
games.
puzzle games. It works your brain.
Yeah, it does.
I've learned things about different languages and cultures through different, historical video games.
Hmm.
You can learn a lot from video games.
Yeah, I mean, I learned quite a bit about the Cold War from Metal Gear Solid 3. Remember that game?
Um,
Remember Hideo Kojima?
I well, I mean, I know Kojima because he's such a prominent name in the video game industry. I haven't. The only Metal Gear game I've actually played is Revengeance because I love hack and slashes, and Metal Gear was primarily a PlayStation franchise. I never
Dude, I
owned a
was so
PlayStation,
disappointed
so I've not
when I
played them.
heard about that. I was so disappointed when I heard about that.
Why that game?
Because
I
I
was
wanted Metal
so
Gear. I
stoked
wanted
for
Metal
that.
Gear Rising. I didn't want this Revengeance game. This guy.
Uh-oh. Lost you there. So while you're fixing that, Shock is saying, I'm happy at peanut butter, which I'm assuming he means Nutter Butter. Or maybe he talking about actual peanut butter cookies was D tier at least. I like peanut butter cookies, but yeah, I can understand them being lower on the tier list.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So, okay. Which game were you referring to that you were disappointed about? Because I thought you were talking about Revengeance, but then you said I wanted Revengeance, so I'm confused.
No. I wanted Metal Gear Rising. That's what they originally announced it as, and that was originally supposed to be a Kojima Productions game. But they showed there's clips of it. There's footage of it. They announced it back in 2009, right after Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. And I was interested because it was supposed to be an interquel between 2 and 4. How Raiden went from being Raiden in number 2 to being the cyborg ninja dude in 4. And I wanted to see that play out. So Revengeance is basically after 4, and it's just about him meeting work. Because I thought I thought at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 that he put aside that type of life, that he could raise a family and all that. But I guess the need for money is always great. So he gets out of retirement and goes and fucks with the wrong senator. That I do remember that part. I didn't play the game. I was watching my buddy playing that, and I know the senator, that one senator,
Senator Armstrong.
Senator Armstrong, yeah.
I see him show up in like video game lists like all the time.
Yeah.
And I playing through the game, I'm like, is this guy really going to be the final boss? I'm like, he's a freaking politician. How lame is that? And then I got to the final boss fight. I'm like, dude, this guy is freaking tough. But okay, so I'm still confused though because Metal Gear Rising
villains.
That is true. But Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is that's the game. That's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. So I'm confused like when you're saying I was looking forward to Rising, not Revengeance or whatever. I'm confused. It's the same game. What are you talking about, that they were supposed to originally be two separate games?
No, it got rebranded. So Rising was originally supposed to be the game, but then it got rebranded, and then they went with, it was originally just a Kojima Productions game.
Okay, so you're saying it was originally just Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, but because Kojima and the rest of them did not know how to make a proper hack and slash the way they wanted to, they just gave it to Platinum Games, and then they had what was it, Hideki Kamiya?
Yeah,
I think Hideki Kamiya worked on it. So yeah, the guy that directed Resident Evil 2. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because I didn't know that it was originally just Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, this was ages ago. So like I feel like a boomer, just like, oh, remember back in them days, early. Well, E3,
Yeah, like I said,
not really, but
Metal Gear Solid was mainly a PlayStation franchise. I never had a PlayStation, so I never played any of those. But
I
they
didn't get
announced
it.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance at E3 one year, and that was the first time I had seen it, and I was like, "That looks freaking awesome!" And I was so stoked for that.
I didn't get into Metal Gear either until I met my buddy in college, and he was playing four. He had Twin Snakes on GameCube. He let me borrow it. I played it, and I was watching him play four, and I was like, "Whoa, this game looks next level." And this was 2008. This was 2008, and I'm watching him play four. I'm like, "Whoa, this is practically a movie." I'm like, "What is the story?" So I wanted to play from the beginning, and I played the Twin Snakes, and I realized that game is not the beginning. I had to find a way to get Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence on PS2 so I could play the first Metal Gear 1 and 2 and get the actual beginning with, Solid Snake.
So, because I've almost every other than Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, almost everything I've learned about the Metal Gear franchise has been from having people on my show. What is Metal Gear Rising or not Rising, but Metal Gear Subsistence? Because I thought Metal Gear 3 was Snake Eater, and that was chronologically the first one in the timeline.
It is, but they re-released it as Subsistence, and it
Okay,
came with like additional content, and
gotcha.
that
Okay,
includes the first two Metal Gears from the original MSX system. So
okay,
not the NES, not the NES Metal Gear,
right.
but
That was just Metal Gear.
yeah, but
Yeah, Metal
the
Gear
actual
Solid
first
was on place.
Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake from the MSX system. So, and that's the best way to play. That's how I played them. That's how I got into it. And yeah, awesome games.
Okay. But yeah, I was into it because I love hack and slash games. So I saw this freaking awesome cyborg ninja being able to. The tech demo was freaking awesome because they were like literally like cutting slices on a watermelon. I'm like, that's freaking amazing. I don't remember if that was actually in the game. I really need to go back and play it again because it's been so long since I played it. And I only played through it once. I love the game, but me being an achievement hunter and a completionist, I have so much more to go back and do in that game. I really need to get back to it.
Yeah, I do want to play it again. I know that I think it's a shame what happened with Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, especially with the
With the split
closing
of
of
Kojima.
yeah, with the closing of the Kojima Productions branch of Konami. I mean, Konami's nothing now, and I mean, my buddy Dread Roberts has said the same thing. Like what do they do now? I mean, they don't really make Castlevanias. They just re-release Castlevanias. They
Yeah, they
re-release
just
Metal
released
Gears.
Castlevania Dominus Collection last week,
What else is
but
What else is
something new.
Konami known for? I mean, besides,
Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the first thing I think of.
yeah, I mean, back in the
That's
day,
pretty big.
Konami was like a powerhouse. Like they made the Ninja Turtles games with,
I did
I
not
mean,
know
with
that.
great soundtracks. Do you have like Castlevania? Um,
Yeah, what was the last mainline new release of a Castlevania game? Was it Lords of Shadow 2?
I think so. Yeah,
I don't think they've done
I
anything
don't.
with
Yeah,
any new Castlevania since then. I could be wrong, but I think that was the last new Castlevania.
I don't think they
Which
came
I
out with
liked those
anything
as
good.
well. I being a hack and slash fan, that was my entry into the Castlevania franchise was Lords of Shadow. I really like that one. I have Lords of Shadow 2. I've played a little bit of it. That's one on the back burner. I got to go back and
Bro,
go
you're right.
through.
I'm looking at it now. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, 2014.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that makes sense. About 10 years ago, sounds about right because it was a 360 game.
I mean, I just got for Castlevania. I just bought a couple of collections on the Switch. They just released the DS the collection for the
The
DS
Dominus
games.
collection.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
got
pick that up at some point, especially since those are Metroidvanias, and that is kind of my thing.
yeah.
And
So
the
no way,
um,
no way, no
yeah,
way, no way. I don't believe you.
because the only Castlevanias I've actually played through in their entirety is Lord of Shadow. That was my first Castlevania game, and then when I really
Really?
got into Metroidvanias, I had to go back and play Symphony of the Night. So
Yeah,
I
you
played
got him. You got him.
the Xbox Live Arcade version of that. But other than that, I've played a little bit of Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. That one is basically 3 short games back to back where you play through like Act 1, you play as one character, Act 2, you play as another character, and Act 3, you play as another character. I've basically completed Act 1 of it. but I still need to go through Acts 2 and 3.
Yeah, these were
And that
part
one's
of
a
like a
Metroidvania.
different. Yeah, these were part of a different canon, the Lords of Shadow games,
Yeah,
because I mean, yeah, you have Gabriel Belmont, who is somehow the Belmont of that game, but then you have his son Trevor
because
Belmont, and then Trevor Belmont's son is Simon. That's definitely not the case. Definitely not the
because
case in the original continuity.
okay, so I was saying Gabriel Belmont. Yeah, that's who you play as in Lords of Shadow,
Yeah,
who is voiced by Robert Carlyle, who I recognize from Stargate Universe.
he was in Stargate Universe. He was in the Full Monty. He was the bad guy in The World Is Not Enough, the third Pierce Brosnan Bond movie.
Really? I haven't
Yeah,
seen that since like the theater, so I remember all the Pierce Brosnan movies except for Goldeneye. I couldn't tell you which one was which
yeah.
because I haven't seen any of them since the theater, but I know Goldeneye because of the game so well.
What's funny is what's funny was when I first started getting into all the Bond movies, I started renting them when I was in high school. GoldenEye was already out. GoldenEye was already out for several years. It came out when I was in grade school. Um, I played it along with watching the Bond movies. That was an experience I'll never forget. Like it was just, it's similar with me playing like the Donkey Kong 64 and seeing the Planet of the Apes films for the first time.
Okay.
So it's I have this weird connection between watching old stuff like Star Trek original series, the original Planet of the Apes, the Bond movies from the 60s and 70s, and pairing them up with games that I grew up with, video games that I grew up with. So, like for instance, Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 and the Donkey Kong Country games, I directly associate with the original Star Trek because for Christmas I would get those games, but I would also get the VHSs for some of the episodes. So
Okay.
I would go back, and when I was a kid and I'd be either sick or home from school or something, I'd be going back and forth because I'd be home, I had nothing to do, so I'd be either playing the games or watching the Star Trek episodes. So
Yeah, I've done that too. I'm trying to remember what I know. I feel like I've done that somewhat recently within the last year or so. I played some stuff that like correlated to some games, but I can't think of
you
what it
played some
was.
video games that correlated to games?
Yeah, like they're
No
kind of like you
way.
were saying, like Planet of the Apes and Donkey Kong. They're kind of like
Yeah.
correlated in that they have
Hmm.
maybe like a similar theme.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what some of them are, but I can't think of any. Can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Oh shoot. Oh, the last thing that I do remember. Oh, that wasn't a movie, but I remember a couple of years ago when I was playing through uh, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I was listening to a ton of Ailstorm. Are you familiar with the band Ailstorm? It's a pirate metal band. So uh, I was listening to a lot of pirate metal while I was playing through Assassin's Creed. So
Pirate metal? How's that
yeah,
sound?
it's great. If you're not familiar with Ailstorm, I definitely recommend checking them out. They're a gimmick band, but they're so much fun.
You'd be
Their music
surprised with
videos
what
are
I've
great.
been. You'd be surprised with what I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks. I haven't listened to a whole lot. I don't listen to a whole lot of metal, but I still have a soft spot for prog rock. So
Okay,
there's
I
an
love
old
prog rock.
anime show that's based off of an old science fiction's epic space series. It's called Lensman, and
Okay,
I was listening to the Lensman is an anime. It is a sci-fi anime series about space police, and this
oh, it's an
Lensman.
anime series. That's why I'm not
Yes.
familiar
Well,
with
it
it.
was original. So here's the thing: the Green Lantern and that little thing. Well, the people that made that comic ripped off Doc Smith's The Lensman books, basically.
Okay,
And I mean, I'll be honest. That book series was also on George Lucas's desk. I don't know if you ever seen the video of George Lucas. This is 1994. He's sitting in his corner office at his desk, and he's like, I'm about to write the first draft of episode 1 of Star Wars. And you see his bookshelf, and he has like all the classic science fiction books, probably in leather bound and all that. And I was
okay,
looking to see what he had. He had like Foundation by Isaac Asimov, but he also had the Lensman books by Doc Smith. And so so by the way, his family hates the anime. They say the anime really sucks. and that's probably the
Oh,
reason
this
why it's never come out here in the United States on the
the
stateside
author
here.
of these books doesn't like the anime adaptation.
Yeah, something like that. So it's
Okay.
basically it's a space opera, space epic about space police, you know. So and I haven't seen the show, but I've been listening to its soundtrack, and some of the songs are done by this Japanese prog rock band that kind of makes me think a little bit of Rush, a little bit of Queen, a little bit of Genesis. And I'm listening to it.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? I'm liking this. I like the late 70s, early 80s prog rock sound, you know, that because it's really what I mean, that stuff really brought nerdy stuff out of, you know, it brought nerdy stuff into the mainstream. I mean, you look at all those old prog rock albums, you know, Naked Chicks in Space, or you had like, you know, Led Zeppelin did Lord of the Rings references back and forth. I don't know if you know
Yep.
that. Misty
Yep.
Mountain Hop and Ramble On mentioned the Gollum taking your girl away from you, bro. You
Ramble On is
know,
my favorite Led
Ramble
Zeppelin
On,
song.
Led Zeppelin too. Yeah,
They make mention of that in the. Are you familiar with the Epic Rap Battles of History, the YouTube channel?
I've heard of. I think I might have seen a few
They are
videos.
fantastic, but there was one that is J.R.R. Tolkien versus George R.
I've
R.
seen that one.
Martin,
I've seen that one. I've seen
and
that
they
one.
make reference to the Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine anybody. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of songs that have been written that have brought up Jon Snow or Song of Ice and Fire and all that. Or I like this. I like to hear a song about how George is never going to finish the Winds of Winter.
Yeah, that's
It's been 13 years.
I've never read the books. I've never even seen the Game of Thrones show,
The
but
books the books are
my guess would
excellent.
be that it's never going to happen because
The-
no matter what he does, it's not going to live up to people's expectations. Just like Half-Life 3. Even if they do ever release it, it's going to be a disappointment because of all the build up to being one of the greatest games of all time. They're
I
like,
can
we can't do it because it's going to let everyone down.
I can never support. I mean, the same buddy that got me into Metal Gear. I mean, I started paying attention to Half Life because of him. Because I remember I was hanging out with him at his dorm, and he was playing Half Life 2 Episode 2,
Okay.
and I watched him play it. I watched how that episode ended. I was like, when I'm like, did they announce episode 3? He's like, yeah, they announced it. I'm like, do you know when it's coming out? He's like, I don't know. And this was 2007, buddy. This was 2007. You know how long ago that was?
Yep. I remember
Kids who
that.
were born that year are seniors, and kids who were born that year are like seniors in high school now. So they
Yeah,
still
getting
haven't come out with
close.
episode 3. I mean, they came out with
Half
the
the
Alex,
VR one.
yeah, the
Yeah,
VR
Half-Life
one,
Alex,
and that
which I've
was
heard is
it.
one of the greatest VR games like ever.
Yeah. So
And oh,
I don't know if that was I don't know if that basically resolved episode 2, but
so from what little I know about Half-Life Alex is that the game takes place before Half-Life 2, I believe, but it does some uh
I'm just
timey
taking it
wimey
you're
wibbly
her.
wobbly stuff with time, and the finale of the game takes place after Half-Life 2 episode 2 ends, I think, and it like rewrites like history from what I hear. But I heard
But you play as her, right? You don't play as Gordon
yes,
Freeman.
you play as Alex, and I think it has something to do with like the G-Man sets you on. Like he loses faith in Gordon to be able to complete the objective that he needs to do, and so that's why he's like, I'm going to go to Alex instead because she might be, uh, might actually be able to accomplish what we want Gordon Freeman to accomplish. This is what I've gleaned. I could be way off, so don't quote me on any of this. But I did just recently find out that there is a no VR mod. So I meant to buy Half-Life Alex last time it was on sale, and finally get around to playing it without VR because I don't have VR.
Is that also a first person shooter?
Yes, it's a first-person shooter. Obviously, it takes a lot of the really amazing things that it does because you can like do everything with your hands in the game, which is why it's like one of the premier examples of a good VR game. But if you don't have VR, which a lot of people don't, you can install a no VR mod and play it more like a standard first-person shooter. So next time it goes on a good sale, I'm going to pick it up and finally give it a shot. I did pick up because my PC that I'm on right now, I've had it for about a year now. The PC I was on before is this one right here, and I got this in like 2011 or something, and I never got it with the intention of gaming, so it wasn't very powerful. So I haven't really been able to play any PC games until about a year ago. So
Mhm.
once I built this PC that I've got now is definitely gaming capable. The first time it went on sale, I picked up Black Mesa because I definitely wanted to play through Half-Life again with uh, more modern looks. And I've started it, but I still haven't. I barely touch it. I have so many Steam games that I have to get to. Me being mainly an Xbox gamer, I have
Mhm.
to set aside time from that in order to go play, other platforms, which I've been doing good lately. I just haven't been playing Steam games, but I'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I have a lot to improve in that area. So right now I'm still using my laptop, but obviously this is how I'm talking to you right now. Um, but like because I'm working now, I want to get a desktop. I want to get a desktop. I want to be able to stream games fluently, like smoothly, because
Hmm.
I have an Elgato capture card, the 4K Elgato. Well, I don't know if it's
Okay.
4K, but it's the HD 60 plus capture card,
I think that's what
and
I was looking at.
it's very like when I try to, I use the 4K utility program which connects my system to the connects the capture card from my system to my computer, my laptop. Um, it's very choppy, especially with like PS5 games, like
Hmm.
Elden Ring. It just it like what I see on my screen on my monitor versus what I see on the
On
window,
the
the
screen.
4K window is choppy as hell. So I need to figure out how to improve that. So
I've
obviously I need a better computer because right now I'm just playing on this laptop, and this laptop is seen better days and everything. So, and my friend Prophet the Dragon suggested I go to Newegg and build my own PC, basically, which I've
um
never built a PC before,
oh,
so it's
okay.
terrifying.
I could help you out with that as well if you have any questions. What I used was what is it called? PC Part Picker. Yeah, PC Part Picker is a great website. You can pick all the stuff you want, and it'll tell you whether it's compatible with it or not, so you don't
Okay.
accidentally get like a motherboard that doesn't work with your processor and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
so, but yeah, that's what I did with mine. The uh,
Got another nerd in
it's
the chat, by the way.
Yeah. So first
What's up,
off,
buddy?
Christian Frades is here. What's up, Christian? Good to see you, buddy. And Nerd Takes. What's up, Jay? How's it going? Good to see you. I just saw his Steam notification pop up saying he's playing Black Myth Wukong, which is
Yeah,
I that's
everybody's
the one game I've been looking forward to for like 3 years, and then it comes out and they're like, yeah, it's not coming to Xbox yet.
yeah,
So
my buddy Dread Roberts has been covering that, and like so that game has got like 2 million players on like Steam. I think is that what it is? It's
I think it's
crazy.
the second highest concurrent player count on Steam of all time, and it's the number one single player game. Because I think the first number one game was like a live service game, like Fortnite or something.
Yeah, and I had no idea. Like I learned this from him and other people that apparently Wukong, that mythical tale of Wukong, was such a big inspiration for Goku and Dragon Ball,
I did not know that
OG Dragon
until
Ball. Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't know that either.
I'm not big on DBZ or any of the DBZ or DB. Just the whole Dragon Ball franchise. The only Dragon Ball I've ever seen is Dragon Ball Z abridged on YouTube, and that was pretty hilarious. But I didn't know that either until this week. Someone was like, "Yeah, all Dragon Ball is based on the Journey to the West as well." I was like, I did not know that, but that makes a lot of sense. The
Yeah,
other
and
game,
it makes me want to play it now, but I'm still kind of. I'll get into why I kind of stopped playing Elden Ring. I'll whenever you want to talk about that.
okay, yeah, we'll definitely get to that. For me, like I said earlier, I'm a big hack and slash fan, and I was from the moment I saw this, I'm like, that game looks amazing, because one thing that I have a little bit of a gripe with Elden Ring and all of the games of that ilk is that the whole Soulsborne subgenre basically co-opted the hack and slash genre, and since Souls games became a thing, we haven't gotten any proper hack and slash games. So this game looked like it might be more of a return to hack and slash than a Souls like game.
What about God of
So
War? What about the newest God of War?
that's a great example. I have the 2018. I don't have Ragnarok. I do want to play. both of them. I haven't played them yet, but I definitely do want to play them. But that's probably really one of the only ones I could really name of like a proper hack and slash. It's not really a Souls like game. Um, but yeah, when I've been looking forward to it, but they're like, yeah, it's not coming to Xbox yet. I'm like, well, at least I am. I'm okay with that because I wouldn't be picking it up on release anyways. I think the last game I bought on launch was Destiny 1 in 2014. I'm very frugal, so I wait till a game is on sale like 50% off with all the DLC and all the bugs are fixed, especially with how broken a lot of games launch
Like
these days.
like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, even though I don't think they ever really got fixed. Well, not, at least not in the console versions.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got
you know how many times New Vegas on the Xbox 360 broke on me?
that.
It's
Well,
tragic.
it is because it's funny because Obsidian around that time really got the short end of the stick because they've made what a lot of people consider some of their favorite RPGs of all time. Being most
KOTOR
people,
2.
yeah, most people think that Fallout New Vegas is the best game in the Fallout franchise, and a lot
Probably
of people
is.
love KOTOR 2 as
Mm-hmm.
one of their favorite Star Wars
Yeah.
games. And in both
Both
situations,
written by Chris Avalon.
yeah, Chris Avalon, but in both situations, Obsidian was like, "Here, you have like 18 months to work on this game," and they had to like get this game out in like a
Yep.
ridiculously short period of time. And then after time, it got bugs patched and community helped, mod it into a better game, and it's become a lot of people's favorites in those genres.
I still have to play. I only played that one once. I have not played I have not played the dark side ending of KOTOR 2. And then they came out with, apparently there was DLC. Well, not DLC, but there was this hidden level called the HK Factory. That was
Okay, I've heard
that
about
was
that.
that's part of like the new game or something. And they were supposed to come out with something like that for the Switch, but they didn't do it.
That's a bummer because I played KOTOR 1 once way back in the day when it was pretty new.
It's the reason why
I
I bought an Xbox. Between that
and
and Halo Combat Evolved, playing with my friends, because I wanted to actually get good at Halo, because I always thought I was great at video games until I played multiplayer with people, and I realized, especially first person shooters, that I am not a good video game player after all. I got humbled, especially the amount of times I got teabagged by people. It's very humiliating. It's very humiliating.
yeah,
Even people you thought were the most Christian people will teabag you.
oh yeah, that's what you do in video games if
That's
it's
what you. That's
possible.
what you do.
But yeah, Halo was. I didn't actually have an original Xbox until really late in the Xbox life cycle because all my friends had Xboxes, so I didn't really need to have my own hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But because we just played tons of Halo. But that was the thing that I got an Xbox for was Halo. But I played KOTOR 1 on PC. I've still got the disc in this box right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I never played, and I played through it once on light side, never played it dark side, and I never played KOTOR 2. But I own them both
Never
on
played.
Steam, and
You
I
never
do
played
plan.
it on Dark Side.
No, so
The first KOTOR, dude. That ending's awesome. You gotta play it. You gotta
well,
play
that's
it.
what I'm. When
Everybody's
I
hailing you. Everybody's hailing. You're the Sith Emperor.
So once I get around to playing, I'm going to play them both back to back. I'm going to play KOTOR 1 again as Dark Side, and I'm play KOTOR 2, and I don't know if I'm going to go light side or dark side, but I'm going
So
to play them back to back.
I suggest you play as a total bastard. Like just try to get people to attack you. That's how I approach the dark side in KOTOR 1. So I've killed a couple of the main characters because I kept calling them names and kept telling them that I'm going to attack you or something. So I got them to attack. Too bad it didn't work on Carthonassi. That guy was annoying. I was hoping to kill him, but that didn't happen.
I know people are like, oh, why can't we kill him? Yeah, it's tough. It's so counter to my age. Just playing like Renegade and Mass Effect, Mass Effect being my favorite video game franchise of all time. Just playing Renegade, I just feel so dirty.
And that
And that's like,
third game was such a downer.
no, it's not.
So pissed me off so much.
Okay, because Mass Effect 3 is my single favorite game of all time.
How?
Because everything except for like the
boy.
final like 15 minutes is fantastic.
Okay, all right. You're okay. Fair. Fair.
Because
I,
yeah,
I,
it got a lot of
I
hate when it came out because the ending was so disappointing. A lot of people have
the
come
ending
around to
was
be like,
terrible. It
the
was one of the
ending is not
worst
good.
things.
But I think everything else they did in the game was great, and a lot of people come around to be like, "Okay, yeah, it was a pretty good game. It's just the ending wasn't that great." And the multiplayer was fantastic. I
I
love it.
thought that.
And
What do you think of the whole Cerberus side plot? I think that
um,
were they called Cerberus? Yeah, they were called
yeah,
Cerberus. That organization.
yeah. So
So I forget what was their deal. Were they working with the Reapers? I forget, or they had their own agenda. I
sort of.
forget what it was.
So Cerberus was in Mass Effect 1, but you only ever hear them mentioned in in a couple of computer terminals. You might find someone mention them in like an email or something. They're
Yeah.
very, very minor in Mass Effect 1. In Mass Effect 2, Cerberus, because spoiler alert, if you haven't played Mass Effect 2, which most people consider the best one, um, you Shepard, the main character, dies in the opening scene of Mass Effect 1, and Cerberus brings him back to life. And so throughout all of Mass Effect 2, you're working with Cerberus, and they're essentially a terrorist group, but they don't think of themselves as a terrorist group. They think of themselves as like an extreme humanity first group, and they're superior to all other races.
Oh, okay.
But what they do can definitely be conveyed as terroristic activity in some regards.
I got a show for you if you like Mass Effect. If that's your favorite series of all time,
It
you will
is.
love Babylon 5.
Okay. You might have talked. We might have talked
I
about that
have.
before.
I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Because I've heard Babylon 5 get mentioned a number of times, and I think it's from you. Uh,
Yes.
and it's one that I do need to watch. My favorite show is Stargate. I'm watching through it right now. I'm currently in season 5.
I bet you. I'm going to tell you, Babylon 5 is better, probably better than Stargate. But I haven't seen Stargate, so I can't really
Ooh.
judge that. But Babylon 5 is a shorter show compared to Stargate. It's only the main story happens in 4 seasons, and the fifth season is
Okay.
kind of like an epilogue season,
Okay.
which was supposed to lead to another show, but it didn't work
Got
out.
canned.
So, but seasons, especially seasons 3 and 4, it's like builds up to an epic, it builds up to epic war basically. So
Okay.
you have you have the Reapers. There's a version of the Reapers in the
Oh,
show
I
that
remember
are
someone telling me
very,
about that.
yeah, they are ancient. They come back. They sow chaos. Now I don't think I don't remember what the Reapers' point of view is. I don't believe they're there to sow chaos necessarily,
The
but the
Reapers were programmed to basically,
wipe out.
because what they do is they go into hibernation essentially out in the dark void between
Yes.
galaxies,
Yeah.
and then they come back every 50,000 years and basically wipe out all of sentient life, uh, and they leave species that are not evolved yet, that are basically
Yeah.
not sentient. But and that was like they misconstrued their creators' instructions in that their creators told them. It's been a while since I've actually played through it because
Yeah.
like I was saying earlier, I love Mass Effect 3's multiplayer and I still play it regularly. And I put hundreds of hours in the Mass Effect multiplayer, but it's been a while since I played through the actual story. I'm looking forward to playing through it again on the Legendary Edition, which I haven't done yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But the creators of the Reapers was basically like prevent AI from taking over the galaxy. And so, in order to protect the creators from AI, they basically wipe them out as like this really messed up machine logic. So, that's kind of the gist of the Reapers, like motivation, I guess
Yeah.
you could
Okay.
say.
All right. That makes sense. So yeah, the Reapers have that basically that they're very, yeah. If I remember correctly, I remember they indoctrinate lower life forms or something like that,
Yes,
and
indoctrination is a big thing. Oh, that's what I was going to say when we are talking about Cerberus. Is in so after the end of Mass Effect 2, is you part ways with Cerberus,
yeah.
and then Cerberus becomes one of the main enemy factions along with the Reapers in Mass Effect 3, and it's
Yes.
because the Elusive Man, who is the head of Cerberus,
Yeah. Martin Sheen. Yeah.
yeah, played by Martin Sheen, fantastically, thinks that he can use Reaper indoctrination in order to create his own army that will do anything that he wants. And
Isn't he on the Citadel with you at the end, at the very end? The elusive
Um,
man. I forget.
he does show up
But
in the
isn't he
very
isn't he
final
on the
scene.
Citadel in the very final scene? You're
Yes, he is. Although I'm trying to remember if it's actually him or some sort of like illusion of him, like a hologram or something, or is it actually him? Or maybe it was just in your head. I don't remember. But yes, in the game, there is a personification of some sort of the elusive man in the final scene of the game.
yeah.
But he thinks that he can control the Reaper technology, but he ends up getting indoctrinated by it himself.
Yeah.
Because the way indoctrination works is it makes it the Reaper indoctrination makes you think that you're having your own thoughts, but you're actually being influenced by the Reapers.
So there's
But
some
you don't
there's so there
realize
be
it.
and there's some telepathy involved, right?
I don't know if telepathy is exactly the right word because it's just being around it in proximity of it over a long period of time, just being
Yeah.
exposed to it can cause you to become indoctrinated.
So what, like what kind of like a virus then? You're just within contact within certain range or
Um,
something. I don't know.
because there's
It's
no pathogen or anything, but
yeah,
and it's not like you could pass it on to someone.
right.
It's more of like just like being within the aura of
Being
whatever the
within their
radius is.
vicinity. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Within the vicinity. Yeah, that's why
but
I'm
Christian
kind of curious.
is saying
Yeah,
that he's currently making some videos on Mass Effect 2 and all the DLC, which is awesome. I
nice,
look forward to
nice.
seeing that. And he is correcting me that it was not actually a hologram; it was actually the elusive man. So, thank you,
Okay.
appreciate that.
So
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He's got crazy knowledge on everything. So,
yeah, so Babylon 5 has the so the in place of the Reapers you have the Shadows. They are another ancient race that basically comes out of the shadows every several millennia to sow chaos and to see who to basically sow chaos and teach certain species or teach the younger races um you know who to be. I forgot how they put it. uh Basically teaching like who to be stronger or the whole social darwinistic idea,
okay.
you have to basically, in order to be strong, you have to be evil and you have to be aggressive. And what's funny is there's another race that's not quite as ancient, but they are basically the opposite end of the extreme. So, and they are basically wiping out anybody that has anything to do with the shadows. So they are another type of evil that
So
comes
they're
out,
not
but
necessarily the good guys
they're
either.
not necessarily the good guys. And this was I thought that was very interesting. Some people didn't like how that played out, but I kind of did. Um, it was just basically, hey, we don't need you. You guys can go F off or something like that. That's kind of how that storyline went. Um, but in this universe, there's not just like, I mean, there's the younger races. There's, there's a lot of things going on. There's wars. There's like, there's the Centauri. There's the Narn, the reptilian looking Narn. The Centauri look like Italian, evil French Italians. And he has a Napoleonic look because they have hair like this, and they wear like red coats like that, like the French, or coats like the French, but they have this Italian type of in palace intrigue going on. And let's just say they go to war with the Narn, and the Narn become like they're the oppressed people that are being destroyed. And let's just say the Centauri, the ones that look like the French Italians, they're the ones being manipulated, told what to do by the shadows. And
Okay.
so the shadows there's a role there. And there's other races that are kind of trying to combat this, and so they start to form a union, like a unite UN type of deal right now. So and this takes place over the course of several seasons. It's awesome. It's written, I mean, it's got some left-leaning stuff because J. Michael Straczynski, like Gene Roddenberry, is a staunch, well, he's a staunch leftist. I would say Roddenberry was, I don't know if Roddenberry was a leftist per se, but he was, I don't know, you know what I mean. But
But
there were a lot. But the thing is, those ideas that they put into the show were not what you would define as woke.
right.
It was, I mean, there were some progressive ideas, and the thing is, there was religion. I mean, one thing Star Trek never got into was religion. There's religion in that show. You see Jews, you see Christians, Catholics. Catholics, expanding their ministry in outer space.
They did the
You
same
never
thing.
saw that you never see that in science fiction.
The one time that I've actually seen it was in The Expanse with the Mormons. Did you ever
Yeah,
watch The
that's
Expanse?
right. I did. I did
They,
once. I thought that I'd never finished The Expanse though. Season 5 was just that darn bad.
I
And
don't.
I didn't.
I gotta look now. I don't remember if I did. I'm pretty sure I did finish it because yeah, I'm pretty sure I finished it because I was pissed that they killed off Alex for like no apparent reason. I'm like, what the heck? Where did that come from?
Well,
I went and
that they
looked behind
killed
the
him
scenes,
off because he
and I
got
was
me
like,
too'd. The actor
exactly.
Cass Anvar got me too'd.
Yeah, I was like, why? Why did they kill him? I went and looked up behind the scenes, like, oh, okay. That I
Yep.
think that was dumb, but yeah.
I
Uh, but,
mean, I don't know.
but anyways, yes. Okay, so once I am done rewatching Stargate, I'm gonna watch Babylon 5. So I don't know if I've said
It's
that before, but I'm making that decree now. It might be a while till I get to it, but I will watch that after I'm done with Stargate.
it was one of those shows that finished. It was one of those shows that J. Michael Straczynski wrote before he even pitched it. So, I mean, yes, there were times where he had to, characters left or characters changed and stuff, um, or characters left the show and all that. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov in the original Star Trek, he plays a villain in that show. He plays a recurring villain in that show. One thing that exists in that show are telepaths. So
Okay.
humanity doesn't there's not just normal humans like you and me now. Something happened in outer space that started causing people to become telepaths. And telepaths bring in a lot of interesting new ideas and a lot of interesting new problems to humanity, especially the fact that you cannot control, other people's thoughts are constantly coming into your brain, and you have to be taught how to not have that happen.
Okay.
And at the same time, telepaths can scan you at will. So you have to, so there's like a Gestapo like agency on Earth. And speaking of Earth, you know how in Star Trek the Earth is considered a utopia, like like everything, like it's like humanity has evolved and there's no problems, there's no issues on Earth.
Yeah, I was
Babylon 5, it's not the case. Babylon 5, let's just say Earth is bad.
okay, because there was not that long ago, a couple years ago, I was like thinking about Star Trek. I'm like, if I remember correctly from what I saw from the couple of Star Trek movies I saw, like I don't think they had like any form of money or anything. So I started digging into it a little bit, and I found out like the economic status that they're at is called a post scarcity society. I was like, that's really interesting.
They have violated that at points. So it's even in stuff that I really like Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. There's points where you hear they don't have money, but then there's a point in that movie where McCoy's like, price you name, money or he's like, money you name, price I name, or something. So I don't know. Like I think the writers of Star Trek forget that there's no money. So I don't know.
It would make sense if it's all within like what it's called, the Federation, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it would make sense if everything within the Federation there wouldn't be. But if you're going to planets that are outside the Federation, you would still need something to trade with them.
Yeah,
probably more of a barter system than a economic system, because you wouldn't have anything that they would want,
in Deep
and vice
Space
versa
Nine
when it comes to money.
In Deep Space Nine, it's gold press latinum. It's the Ferengi that run that little economy right there. So, but I mean, that's another great show to watch. Is Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which is a lot of people have said that it's let's just say Paramount got its hands on Babylon on J. Michael Straczynski's Babylon 5 Bible, and they're like, oh, we're not going to make this. We don't think it'll work. And then they come out with a show called Deep Space Nine, which is Babylon 5 takes place on a space station.
Right.
With
Babylon 5. I thought you were talking about Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine takes place on a space station too.
I thought it was on a space
and
station.
It came out. They rushed and made that show first before J. Michael Straczynski can make Babylon 5 with Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
So,
I like I was saying earlier, I watched a good chunk of TNG. I watched a chunk of Voyager. I never watched. I saw like maybe a couple episodes of Deep Space Nine. I remember the few episodes I saw, I didn't really care for it, but I've heard from a lot of people it's like it's one of the best Star Trek shows.
It is. I mean, it builds up to something similar to what Babylon 5 builds up to. Babylon 5 builds up to a major interstellar conflict, and Deep Space Nine does the same thing. It
Okay,
literally brings all the races of Star Trek together to fight an existential threat from outside our the quadrant of our galaxy.
gotcha. Okay,
Let's just say that's the so Deep Space Nine is basically the commander becomes commander of a space station orbiting a planet that was, part of the next generation. It was a planet that was recently ruled by another race and all that. So the race left, the oppressive race left, the Cardassians left, and so now the Bajorans are alone, and they need help from the Federation to become potential members, basically, and
okay.
to rebuild their economy. I mean, imagine the Holocaust. Imagine imagine the Holocaust. Imagine let's just say the Jews had their own country and the Nazis were effing them up, and then they left, and there was nobody there to help them. Well, that's kind of the case here. And then all of a sudden, they go out, they go out exploring, and they find this wormhole, and this wormhole takes them to another part of the galaxy. And so it becomes an exploration show. Sometimes they go into the wormhole to discover, oh, look, new races and all that, until they encounter the Dominion.
So, question
And
about
then
the wormhole.
the Dominion's like, we are not going to let you go and violate our territory anymore, and we're going to f you up, and we're going to come through, and there's more of us than you. You guys are effed. And this was at the end of season 2, and then the
Okay.
rest of the show.
How many seasons of DS9 were there?
7.
Oh, I didn't realize that ran that long.
Yeah. Every show except for Enterprise, or the newer shows, the 90s, TNG and on, were 7 seasons except for Enterprise. Enterprise got canceled after 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Original series was only 3, but that was
I did know that. But I just want to quickly highlight Christian saying his favorite squad mate is Miranda Lawson. I totally get that. That is my Mass Effect waifu. She is perfect.
Which one was Miranda Lawson? Which one was she?
She is
Was
the
she
one
the
who.
blue?
Oh no, that's Liara is the blue
Leah.
one. Miranda Lawson is human. She is introduced in Mass Effect 2, and she's genetically perfect. And she's the one who puts the ass in Mass Effect. But she wears a skin tight suit, and
Yes.
she's voiced
Yes.
and modeled after Yvonne Strahovski, who is very hot.
Yes.
But anyways, okay, so Deep Space Nine, there is a wormhole, and does this wormhole go to like a lot of different places, or is it just one place it goes to? And
It goes. So there was a wormhole in the Next Generation that they thought was a stable wormhole, but it was stable on our side, but on the opposite side of the galaxy, thousands of light years away, several decades away, it kept shifting. No, this one in Deep Space Nine is the only stable wormhole they've ever discovered.
okay,
And they discovered it because
there's two-way travel through it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The reason I ask
you can go in there, and you'll appear at the other end, and you can go in from the other end and appear back in. So there's a point where they had to put a minefield in front of the wormhole to keep the Dominion out, to keep the Dominion from coming onto our side. That's how tense it gets. That's how intense it gets later in the series.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because wormholes in Stargate are only one direction.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. You initiate it from one end, and whatever end of the wormhole initiates it, you can go from that side to wherever the connection becomes established with. But once you go through, you can't turn around and go back. Otherwise, you'll die. You have to end the connection and start a new one and dial back to the original place if you want to get back to it.
It's one direction. Okay. Does that mean Harry Styles is in that wormhole too?
I'm assuming that's a reference to that boy band. I think.
Yeah,
Harry
pretty
Styles
much.
One of the members of One Direction.
One Direction.
So I've heard of them. I don't know anything about them since.
I don't know anything about them either. I just know that. What's his name? The guy I mentioned was in Dunkirk.
Oh, Robert Carlyle.
No, the guy that I mentioned, the One Direction dude.
Oh,
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. He was in.
Yeah. He was in Dunkirk.
I don't remember him being in Dunkirk.
You've seen Dunkirk, the Christopher Nolan movie about the World War
Yeah,
II,
Christopher
about them
Nolan's my favorite director, but that was
trying to get the British troops out of Dunkirk, France,
yeah.
with
Nolan's my
the
favorite
Germans
director,
closing in. Yeah,
but Dunkirk is probably my least favorite Nolan movie.
I think my least favorite Nolan movie, believe it or not, is what the hell was that one with the backwards time?
The time one, I had a feeling
Tenet.
Tenet.
I didn't like that
I
one.
don't. So many people don't like it, and I didn't watch it
I
for
had no
years
idea what was going on.
because
It
so many
lost.
people were hating on it, and then I finally watched it. I'm like, dude, I loved it. That was awesome.
I saw in the theater, and the sound, I could barely hear what they were
I've
talking
heard
about.
that the big problem with the movie is the sound.
And it lost me, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Why am I here?
I
Why
watched it at home. I didn't have a
then I
problem
started
with the
pondering
sound.
my existence. I'm like, why am I here at this present state of time? Why is there a pandemic going on? Because this was 2020. Yeah, I was just, and after that, what came out after that? Did he do another movie? Oh
No,
yeah,
that was
he did Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was
oh,
okay.
that's right. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, so I forgot about that one.
You gotta see Barbie first. You have to see
Barbenheimer.
Barbie, and then you gotta see Oppenheimer. See, I didn't see
Yeah, I'm not
Barbie,
gonna
so
see Barbie.
I don't think I could fully get the Barbenheimer
No, what
experience.
you
I don't
need to
even know where
do,
the hell that came from. It's so stupid.
what you need to do is you watch Oppenheimer and then you watch the sequel, Godzilla minus one,
Godzilla minus one was fantastic.
which I've heard is very good. I haven't watched that one yet either.
I got that reminds me. I got to pick that up on 4K. I saw that, and I saw they came out with the black and white edition.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that.
so I felt like I was watching old OG Godzilla again.
Yeah,
Ishiro Honda.
I've never actually seen any of the classic Godzilla. All I've seen from Godzilla is basically Godzilla 98 and 2014, whichever one was with
Original
Aaron Taylor
Godzilla,
Johnson.
original 1954 Godzilla is a classic, and in my opinion, is a significant science fiction film. It's a serious film.
So, are you familiar with the Fractured Filter? He runs in our circle of YouTube.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like a fractured filter of coffee or something. I don't know.
Oh no, he's a YouTuber. He's a friend of mine.
Does he drink
runs
coffee?
in our.
Does he drink coffee at least?
I don't know. I never talk about coffee.
What else will you use a filter for? Water.
I don't know what the filter is for, but anyways,
I know fractured filter. I've seen it around.
Okay. Well, he is a huge Godzilla fan, so you two guys should connect if you ever wanted to talk Godzilla. I'm sure that'd be an interesting stream.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people that I could do chilporials with, but I don't know. I have to vet them.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen Godzilla 98, 2014, I think. Is that when the Godzilla with Aaron Taylor Johnson and what's his name from Breaking Bad?
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. That was 2014,
2014.
Right?
Yeah, I think that was Gareth Edwards.
And then I saw Kong Skull Island. Is that the one with
Samuel Jackson? And what's his in Loki?
Tom Hiddleston was in that, and Brie Larson was in that as well.
Oh, Brie Larson. Yeah, Brie.
So that's not exactly a Godzilla movie because it wasn't in it, although that's in the same universe. But that's about all I've seen from the Godzilla universe.
I didn't see Godzilla 2014. I don't even think I've seen anything
Interesting.
else in that series, but I did enjoy Kong Skull Island. I did see that one. I didn't see Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't think I've seen anything else in that series.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the ones after that. I probably should at some point.
I do want to see Shin Godzilla by Hideaki Anno.
That one's recent-ish, but it looks like it. Yeah, I was gonna say it came out like within the last 10 years, but it looks like it came out in like the 60s or 70s, right? It's one of those older looking ones.
I don't know. Japanese stuff always looks older. Like if you ever watch Power Rangers back in the day, if you watch
Power Rangers.
So Power Rangers had had footage that was made here in America, and they had the Super Sentai Zyuranger footage, the stuff from Japan. The stuff from Japan looked like it was a decade older than the American footage. So yeah, I mean, I watched it recently, the Zyuranger show. It looks like it was made in the late 70s, but it came out in 1992. Yeah.
Oh, I loved Power Rangers as a kid, but yeah, I think I've heard good things about Shin Godzilla. I'm just not big on the Godzilla franchise, so it's not high
Yeah,
up on my
I mean,
priority list.
I have the Criterion Collection Showa era
Oh.
collection. I still haven't watched them all yet.
The thing that
It's
catches my eye up there is the Link's Awakening remaster poster, whatever that is up there.
yeah, you got that. Yeah, then there's In Search of Darkness right there. There's Sonic. There's Sonic the Hedgehog TV show, Sat AM DVD right there, right
Like
here.
the
We're looking
animated
at.
one from the 90s, right?
Yep, the one with
Okay.
Jaleel White, the one with the Dr. Robotnik and Snively. Yeah, it was the good show. There was that show, and there was the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sat AM was the good one. And so I still argue with our mutual friend, Angry Canadian, because he thinks Sonic X is the best animated Sonic show ever. Like, bro,
I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the
Sonic X is the anime. Sonic X is
Okay.
the anime. It came out a decade after Sat AM and Adventures.
Okay, then it was the Adventures one. I saw a couple of episodes of it when I was a kid. I really liked it, but that's one with Julia Wyatt, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He did both of those shows, and then he did another show.
I didn't know that was Jaleel Wyatt until literally a few months ago. Someone told me that, and I'm like, that kind of like blew my mind. I'm like, what?
Did I voice that? Did I do that? Remember Family Matters? Yeah.
I saw a couple episodes of Family Matters, but I knew.
Bro, you're my age. How did you not watch TGIF back in the day? You didn't see Dinosaurs either? Jim Henson's Dinosaurs?
I mean, I saw a couple episodes of it, but I think that was on a network that I didn't have because I didn't have cable.
It was on ABC. It was on Channel 7.
It was on ABC?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a couple episodes of it, but no, I didn't see the majority of it. Really, the one type of show like that I did see a good chunk of back in the day was Full House.
That was on TGIF, but then they moved that show to Tuesdays. So I remember. I remember. You know what's funny? That's a video retrospective I want to do eventually. You know, that's another time capsule from my life.
Full House.
TGIF.
Oh, just TGIF in general.
Full House. TGIF. Full House was kind of out of the picture by then.
Okay.
So for me, it was Family Matters, Step by Step.
Yeah, that was
Dinosaurs.
You're a couple years older than me, so
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I don't think I've even heard of that one.
Never heard of Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
Those are the ones I know of, and I've seen a few episodes of, but I never really watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zelda Link's Awakening. I love that you got that up there because I've slowly been making my way through the Link's Awakening remaster because I just got it recently.
Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play Echoes of Wisdom?
I definitely do plan to play it eventually. I'm probably not going to get it on launch, but I'll play it at some point.
I think it comes out in.
It's not comes out.
It comes out in 3 weeks from Friday, I believe. So
yeah, it's really soon.
Yeah. They're using the exact same. I mean, the thing that I talked to AC about this quite a bit. The thing I was expecting them to do was to use that same style to make to remaster Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Because I played Oracle of Ages. I never got around to playing Oracle of Seasons, unfortunately.
Oracle of Ages is the better. I think Oracle of Ages is the better game.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like Ocarina of Time. There's time travel.
Yeah.
There's time travel, and I don't know. I just thought the game was way more epic and everything. So, by the way, I gotta step away really quickly. I'll be right back. Sorry.
No problem. I'll vamp for a little bit. But yeah, the Link's Awakening was my introduction to the Zelda franchise. That was my very first Zelda game on Game Boy Color. I had the DX version. And I haven't played it basically since then. So it's not great going back and playing it again with this revamped art style. It's beautiful. It is the epitome of the best, in my opinion, like the proper way to do a remaster. I think they nailed it. It is perfect. I'm about halfway through it right now. I've been making my way through it very slowly. But yeah, I would love to see them give the Link's Awakening remaster treatment to a bunch of the older Zelda games from from back in the day, like the Oracle's games. I would love to see them do the same thing with A Link to the Past, which I only played once. I know a lot of people, it's their favorite Zelda. It's not in my top 5. Not that it's bad, just I was never really big on it because it was Link's Awakening and Ocarina of Time that were my. After Link's Awakening, I played Ocarina of Time. Those were like my big Zelda game. The Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda game. But I would love to see Link's Awakening get the remaster treatment. But even if they don't, I am planning on playing through both the Oracle's games and Link's Awakening again sometime in the near future. Because my good buddy Dude 1286, who I will be on stream right here again tomorrow night, got me into retro achievements not that long ago, and all of those games have retro achievement lists. So I'm going to be playing through those again at some point to be playing them for achievements. Yeah, it's the Link's Awakening remaster they've done a great job with it, and like it's been 20 plus 25 years maybe since I played it. So I'm remembering bits and pieces of it. I have had to go and look up some stuff, be like, I don't remember what to do next or where I need to go. But fortunately, they do have those little telephone trees that kind of give you a hint on where you need to go. So I've been using those a lot. One of the main things I really had to look up was how to get into the color dungeon, because I could not for the life of me remember how to do that. And I think I'm currently in the color dungeon right now. I don't think I've finished it yet. I haven't played it in a few days, but I'm pretty sure that's where I left off, is in the color dungeon. But they did add I don't know about a couple new things, but I do know they added Dompe from first time I remember seeing Dompe was in Ocarina of Time. He's the Gravekeeper. They added him into the Link's Awakening remaster. He was not in it originally, and you can kind of build your own dungeons, which is kind of cool. I've done that once, but as you go through the game, you unlock more pieces so you can build better dungeons. So I'll probably explore that a little more once I get closer to the end of the game. And then one of the things that I just recently found out about Link's Awakening, and I think I talked about this on my last episode of Achievement Chasers, was that I didn't know until literally a couple months ago that Link's Awakening, I knew that there was a Game Boy version and a Game Boy Color version. I had the DX version, which was the one with the color. What I didn't know is I thought that like Link's Awakening came out originally on the Game Boy, and then they re-released it on the Game Boy Color a couple years later. I found out just recently that the DX version of Link's Awakening launched on the same day as the non-DX. So the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color versions of Link's Awakening both launched on the same day. I did not know that until just recently because I was looking at the achievement list for Link's Awakening on Retro Achievements, and I looked at the non-DX version, and I noticed they had the same release date. So I went and Googled it, and sure enough, they were released on the same day. I did not know that. Yeah. So I figured he'd be back by now. Anyways, let's see here. Haven't had a whole lot. It's been a little bit of a quiet stream tonight, but that's all right. Glad to see you hanging out here, Christian. Saying Starship Regulars is a good animated Star Trek spoof with Michael Dorn, who I believe was the actor who played Worf. Voices Captain Beligen. I don't know if that's a hard G or soft G, but Starship Regulars is an animated spoof. Okay, I might have to check that out. I'm not wasn't ever big on Star Trek. I've seen bits and pieces of it here and there, but I was never a diehard Star Trek fan like I was a Star Wars fan. Real Star Wars, as I said before, Disney, because they could wipe out every single thing that Disney has done since they've acquired the Disney franchise, and I would be A-okay with that. Go back to, one of the biggest travesties is the mid-2000s was like peak. We had in, say, 2000 to 2010, a 10-year gap, I probably couldn't even count how many Star Wars games there are, and there are so many good ones. And my favorite, and a lot of people's favorite Star Wars games of all time came out in that era, and you couldn't even count how many games. since Disney's gotten the license in 10 years, there have been 5 Star Wars games. There was the Battlefront games, there was Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor and Squadrons, and now Outlaws. So we've gotten 6 games in about 10 years from Disney Star Wars, and some of them have been okay. Whereas there
I heard
was,
Outlaws is not going to be good.
yeah. I may play it eventually when it's a Ubisoft game and they go on sale for very quickly for steep
I wonder
discounts.
why.
So I may pick it up eventually when it's super discounted. We'll see. But yeah, it's everything I've been seeing about it. It does not look good, both visually and just everything that I'm hearing about it is not great either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we could wipe everything out and start over, that would be fantastic. I remember seeing someone on Twitter just like a week or two ago being like, essentially what they were saying was that you should be happy because if you weren't getting that, you wouldn't be getting anything. I'm like, I would happily take nothing over the crap that Disney's been feeding us. So
Yes, I
no
mean
Star Wars is
that's how
better than Disney Star Wars.
no Star Trek is better than New Trek. I mean, like that's just
Exactly.
I mean
Oh,
it makes it ruin it further ruins further ruins everything.
yeah. Thank you, Christian. I was just thinking about that. That's probably what got it started was the Bounty Hunter remaster, which I am looking forward to play because that's one of the Star Wars games from back in the day I always really wanted to play because it looks so cool and I never got around to playing it. So I'll be playing that soon. Well, soon-ish. But I'm looking forward to playing that. But yeah, that's a classic game remastered. So that's not a new game, so that one doesn't exactly count since it wasn't actually made by Disney. It's just ported. I think it was ported by Aspire, and I didn't actually hear any really thing bad about it because they just Aspire recently did the remaster of the Battlefront collection. They totally botched that, which was a disappointment. So that one doesn't count either. That could have been huge if they had gotten that right and had crossplay, and the Battlefront remaster could have been a huge blockbuster, and they just botched it at like every turn. It's like could you have tried to make it any worse? That could have been a huge game changer. So, but yeah. So, have you? I know last time I asked you this when we were on stream. I don't know if this has changed since then, but have you been playing anything lately? I know last time you're like, yeah, I haven't really played anything in a while because I've just been watching shows and talking about movies and TV shows and stuff. So, has that changed at all? You been playing anything lately?
I played a little bit of NES World Championship. I have that up there too.
Okay, that just came out recently, right?
Yeah, played a little bit of that. I've been mainly playing Elden Ring. I got pretty far in Elden Ring, but I have a problem with it.
Okay, what do you have a problem with? And have you taken this up with Dread Roberts yet?
I have, because Dread Roberts has been kind of like my coach during this. So him and my other friend, my friend Marty, and that I hang out with here, are both big fans of Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all that.
My good buddy Dude 1286 is a big Dark Souls fan, and he's at some point he's probably going to coach me through Dark Souls Remastered.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I'm going to play anymore because I got to a point. It's like now I grew up on Nintendo. I grew up on Mario. I grew up on Zelda, especially Zelda. And my friend Marty actually sold this game to me as basically Zelda for adults, Elden Ring, Dark Souls.
Oh, okay.
So you're going around, you're collecting, in Elden Ring especially, you collect these things called golden seeds. Golden seeds allow you to expand your health gauge and all that. So
are they better or worse than the Korok seeds?
They have nothing. I mean, the Korok seeds are more like they're not pointless. I mean, even the Korok seeds have a purpose. They have they expand the capacity of your pack
up to a certain point, and then all the rest of them are useless.
Then the rest of them are useless, and something similar happens with the golden seeds, and that just really, really, really pisses. I don't like that. It's to me, it's an artificial constraint.
Okay.
To have. It's like, imagine if you go around collecting the heart pieces in Ocarina of Time, and all of a sudden, like, there's more heart pieces to collect, but they don't count.
Yeah, they don't continue to give you any more health.
They don't do that. I'm like, oh, you can't do this anymore. Like, what the hell? Like, why not? And the thing is, the game doesn't get easier. The game, even at level 200, which is where I'm at, the game is still tough. The game is still hard. I still want more potions. I still want more means to heal myself. But then it's like, oh, you can't do it anymore. I don't know if this is a AAA thing, but that's why I haven't played it. That's why I haven't played much of it in the last couple of weeks, because of that.
Okay.
And my friend told me it's because it allows people who don't have to explore everything to get everything. And I'm
Okay.
just like, that doesn't make
Gotcha.
sense.
That's I understand, but it is dumb.
And so, I mean, just like, it makes me not want to play AAA games. Now, I'm not saying AAA games are all like that. It's not good to generalize, but I don't know.
That makes sense. I understand. Yeah, I've like I said earlier, I've not really played any of the Souls-like games. I've got a few of them now, and I will be playing them at some point.
Yeah.
Really, the only like proper Souls-ish game I've played is Fallen Order, although I know that's more of like a baby's first Souls-like. But of the like Souls-like proper games, I haven't played any of them. But I will be doing Dark Souls Remastered at some point. I have started that one.
Mhm.
Another one that I haven't started, but I'm going to be playing through. Elden Ring is one of them. Sekiro is another one. I have a feeling I'm really going to like Sekiro. And then that's on Xbox. On Steam, for my birthday, a friend gifted me the Nioh games, NIOH.
Yeah.
Those are from Team Ninja, which I was a huge fan of Team Ninja, because Ninja Gaiden is one of my favorite. Well, Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2 are some of my favorite games of all time.
I'm sure you can guess what the only Team Ninja game I ever played was.
Other M.
Yep.
I played it. I don't remember a lot of it. I've seen a couple of videos recently. I know it's not very well regarded. I don't remember disliking it, but watching a few videos recently, the thing I think the most people have the biggest issue with is the storytelling, and not necessarily the gameplay.
The storytelling, the gameplay is very linear. The gameplay is very linear. It's very it's a step down. It's a step down from Metroid Prime, especially
Yes.
especially Prime 3. I mean, I like I think it would, but the thing is, it was original, and had they made a Metroid game on the N64, I think it would have looked something like that. If they would have tried to go the Mario 64 platformer type of game, I think it would have probably been something like that. So, but it's still a step down, but I think it had some really good ideas. The clunky, I think the clunky missile, you having
That's
to
what I
do
was
the
just
first
gonna
person
say.
thing, that
That's
was
the one
clunky.
gameplay thing I did not like, is you had to go into first person in order to use your missiles. I thought that was dumb.
Yes, and like there's a point where you have to slide down a path while shooting, while going into first person to shoot like a particular, there's a door, and the thing is,
I
you can't
don't
just go
remember
back.
that.
You have to backtrack in order to do that. That's the one upgrade. That's the one missile expansion I never got because of that.
I don't remember that, but I was just watching a video within the last couple days that was talking about Other M, and
Yeah.
they mentioned that, and that's funny that you mentioned that.
I've gotten everything else. I mean, the game itself, I mean, I replayed it. I don't think the game is as bad as I initially thought it was. It's, to me, it's still a step down, but I still think it's a solid Metroid game.
Yeah.
The other issue is that it lacked originality. It was basically a 3D third person version of Metroid Fusion. Like, all the bosses were
Okay.
reused. Like, they reused the boss from Metroid Prime 2. They reused the bosses from Fusion.
I can see
And
that. And you're mainly in a space station too, right? In Other M, just like in Fusion.
yeah, and then the you beat the game, you beat the main story, and then you come back, and then there's stuff left to do. You end up rematching Phantoon. Phantoon was the creepy, ghastly, ghostly boss in Super Metroid, the one that shoots the fire, the blue fireballs at you. It has like the one eye or something.
I
I
think
think
we
it has one
talked
eye.
about that last time we were on stream.
Yeah.
Because
So
it's been so long since I played Super Metroid. I'm going to be playing it again at some point. One of the things I was talking about when you were away is I've been into retro achievements a lot lately, and that's one of the ones I'm
yeah.
definitely going to be going back and playing for retro achievements. The Super Metroid, because I haven't played it in forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be playing through all of the older Metroid games. And speaking of, that's a perfect segue because what I have been playing recently-ish was GameCube just got added to retro achievements back in July, and so the very first thing I played was Metroid Prime, and that was my very first retro achievement mastery where I got all the achievements. So I'm waiting on pins and needles for Metroid Prime 2 to get achievements because I cannot wait to play Metroid Prime 2 again because it has been far too long, and I love Metroid
What
Prime
kind
2.
of achievements in Metroid Prime?
There was an achievement basically for beating each boss on normal and hard, for getting all of the standard collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
There were some achievements for some of the more difficult ones were
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the like tutorial section. You have to
Yeah.
get out of the space station with more than 4 minutes left on the timer. That one
Yeah.
took me probably like a dozen tries.
Okay.
One of them is you have to beat the game in under 3.5 hours. That was my very last achievement.
How would that happen? You can't be that in 3 hours. How would that happen?
Yeah,
How would that happen?
my final time was 3 hours and 17 minutes and 36 seconds. And my buddy Dude 1286, who got me into retro achievements, I was trying to get the mastery before him, but unfortunately he beat me. He got it before I did.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the speedrun achievement on his first playthrough almost without even trying. But he's played through the game a lot more times than I have. It was my
Nice.
first time playing through Metroid Prime in like close to a decade. So that speedrun 3.5 hour achievement was my last one. I made an attempt at it. And I did not make it by 5 minutes. My first attempt was 3 hours and 35 minutes, but on my second one, I made it 3 hours and 17 minutes. So, but there was one of the achievements probably the achievement that I hated the most was the one for sequence breaking and getting the space jump boots early.
Yeah.
Because that is, fortunately, while I was working on it, they released, because there are only certain version of the game that the achievements work with, and originally it was just the 1.2 version. They were nice enough, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but they were nice enough to add the 1.0 version of the game as a supported version for the achievements as well. So I switched to that one, and the main difference is that between the 1 and the 1.2 version of the game is on the 1.0 version, you can do the little side dash. When you're locked onto someone, you can do this like side dash.
Mm-hmm.
While you're locked onto something in your scan visor. In the 1.2 version of the game, you can't do that with the scan visor. You can only do it when you're locked onto an enemy. And in order to do that on the 1.2 version of the game, you have to go and open that first door that leads into the impact crater and lock on to one of the seedlings, and then go backwards without looking where you're going. Get onto your ship, line it up perfectly, and then do the side dash. And you have to time it perfectly so that you let go and you continue your momentum, so you can land on that ledge without falling off. But on the 1.0 version, you can just use your scan visor, and it's called a scan dash. And you can do that because there are a couple different points that you can scan in that area that you land in, so you don't have to go through going and locking onto that enemy in the other room, because it's easy to lose your lock. And if you lose your lock, then you have to go walk back up, open the door, lock on again, get back on the ship, and it takes a lot of tries trying to get it right with that. But if you have the scan, you can do the scan dash. You can attempt it a lot more because you don't have to keep going back up to that door, opening it in order to get another lock on an enemy. So once they added that, I was able to get the space jump boots early, and there was an achievement for it. And I don't think that achievement should have been in the base game. That should have been in like a subset because there is a subset you can do, which is like minimum, like beat the game with like 24% items or something. But yeah, so that was my very first retro achievement mastery, and I'm very much looking forward to playing Metroid Prime 2 again because it's been way too long since I played it. it was supposed to come out on the 2nd 2 days ago, but they extended the time that the whoever's developed, because it's all community run. They extended the time for the whoever's developing the achievements. They're like, okay, you can get more time to work on it. So now they have until like November, and I was like, oh. So, but after that, I moved on and I played Star Fox Assault, because that was another Metro GameCube game that I had, and that was my second Retro Achievement Mastery. After I finished that one, I started my third GameCube game, and that's what I'm still currently working on, and that is the GameCube version of the Mega Man X collection, because I am such a big fan of Mega Man, and the Mega Man X games are my favorite Mega Man games. So
yeah,
I'm
that
currently
was the first version of that collection I got too. The GameCube
I never
anniversary and the X collection. Yeah.
Okay, because this is the first time I've played the GameCube version. Although I have played all of the games in it prior.
Yeah.
But I'm currently in the middle of Mega Man X5. But one thing that blows my mind is that the GameCube version of the Mega Man X collection has the PlayStation version of Mega Man X3, which was a travesty because Mega Man X3 is my favorite Mega Man game, and the Super Nintendo version is way better.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. The sound is all off. Like they totally changed all the sound. That was the big thing, and it sounds like crap compared to the Super Nintendo version. The Super Nintendo sound is way better. And Mega Man X3 was a Super Nintendo game, but they put the PlayStation version in the GameCube collection. It baffles me. I have no idea why. I'm so confused by it. But yeah, I'll be talking more about that on Achievement.
That reminds me, I never finished X4. I gotta finish X4. Me and Prophet of the Dragons, son, we've been doing like a whole bunch of Mega Man. I've been playing them, and he's been coaching me through it. So yeah, I never finished X4. I think it's been months since I played. So I'm at the final part of X4, the final dungeon, I guess you could say, the not Sigma's fortress, I guess.
Yes,
the Sigma's clearly not the bad guy in X4.
Oh, of course not. He was the main bad guy.
Dr. Wily. Was he ever the bad guy? No, yeah. Dr. Wily did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Sigma was only the boss of Mega Man X1, 2, and 3. Surely he wouldn't be the boss of Mega Man X4.
Or 5, or 6, or 7.
Or 6. But yeah, the
X1, actually not 2, the boss 3, in 8.
I liked X8. X7 is definitely probably my least favorite Mega Man game of all time.
I think it's everybody's.
X7 was terrible.
I watched it. I couldn't even watch people play. That's how terrible it was.
Yeah, it was not good. X5 and X6, a lot of people hate on. I thought they were okay, but I liked it. Mega Man X8. But the GameCube collection only goes through X6, so I won't be playing X7 and X8 again. But yeah, X1, 2, and 3 are my favorites, and X3 is my favorite. And kind of like you were just saying with coaching, we still need to do this again. But my buddy DJ Access is also a big Mega Man fan, and I played through Mega Man X3 back in like January on stream, and we were in a call together, and I was like giving him tips and stuff for when he eventually plays through X3. And then when he actually plays through it, we're going to do a thing where I'm basically the same thing but reverse, where he's playing and I'm coaching him through it. We just haven't done that yet, but that's in the pipeline. We're going to do it at some point. That was one of the other things. He's a big Castlevania fan as well, and one of the things I was going to say,
he was coaching me through some of Symphony of the Night.
Okay, nice. But as I was saying earlier, I've only played basically 2 Castlevania games. But I did pick up the Castlevania Advance Collection because they're all Metroidvanias, so I'll be playing that at some point. I wasn't planning on getting the Castlevania Anniversary Collection because those are just standard platformers. Those are the classic Castlevanias. But he talked me into it, so I have those to play through as well. And then eventually I'm going to be picking up the one that just came out last week, the Dominus Collection, which are the DS games, which are also Metroidvania. So I've got a lot of Castlevania in my future. And those are all ones that I've never played before. So I've heard good things about almost all of them.
Yeah, I have the collection I got to play now. So there you
go. But one more thing about Mega Man, the X series, is that I recently stumbled across this. I don't know how or where, but someone made a 16-bit version of Mega Man X8. so it looks like Mega Man X1, 2, and 3, but it's Mega Man
Hmm.
X8. I think it's called Mega Man X8 Demake. So I want to play through that at some point. I know I added it to my Steam library. It's not a Steam game; you can download it for free. But I plugged it into my Steam so I could get to it earlier. Mega Man X8 FC. I don't remember what FC stands for, but if you're interested in playing Mega Man X8, but reimagined as a 16-bit Mega Man game, check that out. I'm looking forward to giving that a shot at some point because that looks fun. So, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mega Man lately. That's what I've been on. And I'll be talking a lot more about that tomorrow on Achievement Chases with Dude as we talk about our achievement hunting across the month of August. So I know you said you got to get out of here soon. So you got any closing remarks, anything you want to say, and then go ahead and plug whatever you got going on.
Sure. I mean, thanks for having me on once again. So sorry
Always good to
about
chat with you.
last time I failed you. I'll
No
never live up to it. I'll never hear the end of it. Actually, no, I've been pretty cool about it.
No worries.
But like, there are some games I do want to play eventually. I don't think I'm going to continue with the Dark Souls series. I'll probably beat Elden Ring, but I'm probably not going to continue with the Dark Souls series. It's too the games take too long. There's time required. I just don't have the time anymore, and gaming is just really not my priority anymore. I've gotten less and less engaged and enthused about games now. So, but there are games I do want to play still. I still want to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
Okay. I've been on a spaghetti western craze. Like I've been listening to a lot of Ennio Morricone's music. So it makes me want to. I've been really interested in westerns, so I want to play Red Dead Redemption 2. The first Red Dead Redemption masterpiece. Love that game. GTA 5 is another game I still haven't played yet, even though it's been almost a decade since that came out. So that's another game. I always look forward.
Talk about giant time sink games.
Yeah, I know. Nintendo, I mean, Metroid Prime 4 is the big one that I'm really looking forward to.
One of the things I was going to say is because the last game I bought like day one was Destiny 1 in 2014. Mm-hmm. Probably the next game I'm going to buy day one is probably Prime 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I'm probably gonna get that Echoes of Wisdom Zelda game.
I'll definitely play it eventually, but I don't know when I'll get to playing it.
So I mean, hopefully it'll be as good as Link's Awakening. I enjoy it. I enjoyed that art style, so we'll see.
Yeah, one of the things I was saying when you were away is that is like the pristine example of in my opinion, like a perfection of a remaster. Link's Awakening remaster is so good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd love to see that treatment on other older Zelda games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, same with like the only things I really hear about from Nintendo now are if the latest Mario entry, whether it's mainly a 3D entry, but 2D entry, like the Mario Wonder. I still have to beat that one, but a good 2D, a good 2D game, or something original. I still like. I mean, that was something that's always been. That's something that's always been part of me. I mean, Super Mario was the first game I ever owned, ever played, aside from Duck Hunt on NES. So
Super Mario World was the first video game I ever owned as well because it came with my Super Nintendo.
What's funny was Super Mario World was the fourth video game I played because I played that actually after 3. I actually played those games in order. Well, I got 1, 2, and 3. I got really quickly because when I got my parents bought me the Nintendo a few months before Mario 3 came out here in US. So I got 1 and 2, and then I was able to. My parents got me 3 for Easter. So the Easter Bunny brought me Mario 3. So I saw the yellow box of Mario 3, along with the candy in the Easter basket, and all that.
Nice.
So I'll never forget that.
I had Super Mario All Stars, which had Mario's 1, 2, and 3. I think I got because Super Mario World came packed in with my Super Nintendo, but I think when I got it for Christmas, I think I also got Super Mario All Stars for that Christmas as well. So I got them both at the same time.
Okay, I know All Stars came out in '93, so you probably got it later Christmas then. Um,
Yeah, I didn't get it at launch. I'm not even sure what
you,
year I
you,
did get it.
you know what's funny is that I think the same weekend that my dad took me to see Mario, the live action Super Mario movie from 1993. I think at that same weekend I rented or either I borrowed or I rented Super Mario All Stars. So I'm go from playing that game to
Seeing the movie,
seeing
it's
the
like,
live
what is
action movie,
this?
which in my opinion to this day is not for kids. That movie is not for kids.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot
A
where my
lot of sexual,
belt.
a
Forgot to
lot of
show me.
sexual undertones in that movie, and it's a freaking Mario. It's a Mario movie of all things. So, but yeah, like the only games I really care about, that I like, if they ever come out with another Donkey Kong Country game, I am all in. I like
I
Tropical Freeze. I liked Returns, and they're re-releasing that for they're re-releasing an HD version on the Switch in January, I think. So probably
yeah.
definitely gonna pick that up. Metroid,
Despite
obviously.
despite the Mario games being my first games, I was never really that into Mario. Donkey Kong Country were my platformers of my childhood. So I'll be
Yeah,
doing Donkey Kong Countries 1, 2, and 3 for retro achievements. And those are really the only ones, though. I never played Tropical Freeze or the other one, but I may.
they're if you like country, if you like the country games, I mean, they take it to the next level, in my opinion.
I will probably pick those up and play them on Switch at some point.
They're much better than the 2D New Super Mario Brothers games.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario Wonder tries to kind of live up to that, but I mean, it kind of does, but not really. So, but yeah, those I still keep an eye out for. Resident Evil is another series I like to play. I'm kind of behind. I still haven't played the 4 remake or 8 Village, so I'm still kind of behind with those.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not big on Resident Evil, so.
I mean, it's basically Zelda, but with horror elements and zombies and jump scares, basically.
Uh,
Yeah,
I haven't played enough of it to be able to say. I don't
it's
see the
puzzle. It's
correlation.
you're basically in a dungeon, a big dungeon, and you
Okay.
have to look for keys, and you fight bad guys, monsters.
Okay.
The only thing is
I
there's
guess I
jump
can see
scares.
that.
Yeah, there's jump
I
scares
wouldn't have thought
basically.
of that, but I guess I can connect those dots.
Yeah, you try to open a door, it's like you cannot open this door. You do not have the club key. You actually only have the diamond key, so you have to go somewhere and find the club key in order to open that room. And who knows what you find in that room that will allow you to progress to the next area. So there's a little bit of Metroidvania too.
Yeah.
That's I mean I thought I honestly my friend got me into Resident Evil. I thought it was just some trashy, zombie shooting in the face, ultra violent thing. No,
Like House of the Dead.
it's not. Like House of the Dead. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And that's what I thought Resident Evil was, but I was wrong. I was wrong. Even I can admit when I'm wrong sometimes. But yeah, Nerdy Neo, thanks for having me.
Yep.
I
Always
enjoyed
love
the
having you on
stream.
and chatting with you. You're a good bro. And Paul Hadouken is here. What's up, Paul? Good to see you. Yo yo, as we're just about wrapping up here.
Illinois boy, huh?
Yeah, Phil
Fellow Illinois boy, Chicago boy.
Illinois boy. You and
Yep.
him and Carl all in the same area.
Adam.
So and Adam? Oh, that Adam.
That's
I
his
thought you
name.
were talking about a different Adam. Yeah. And then also my co-host on
Yeah,
top five.
you guys all call him Carl. I actually call him by his first name.
I always call him Carl. But yeah. And then my co-host on top five, Jason, he's also in that area. So you guys should do like a Illinois meetup.
Yeah, there's a few people. Yeah, there's quite a few people. I met up with someone on Saturday, so yeah, there's quite a few people here in Chicago. So, but yeah, so I'm going to be on right after this with Zax. We're going to be on Zax. We're going to be talking the Star Trek. We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about his theme for tonight is what if Star Trek never existed? I see this on Twitter. I'm like, I quote tweeted, I quote posted. I'm like, how are you going to have a Star Trek stream without me? So then he puts up another tweet saying we're going to have our walking Star Trek encyclopedia Nerporial on with us. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing that like right now actually. So I gotta hop off, and then Friday I'm going to be having Chilporial. I'm going to be bringing on Price of Reason, and we're going to be
Okay.
talking about the culture. We're going to be talking about the culture war. We're going to be talking about what's going on, modern entertainments, and yeah. So from the Acolyte to New Trek to whatever crap that comes out, and he's very knowledgeable about it. I love to talk to him. I got to know him through Dread Roberts. So yeah, it's fun. It's interesting the people you meet through the people you meet through the people you meet. That's called networking.
Yeah, I've met so many people just in my little over a year now being on YouTube. Made a lot of good friends. It's been awesome.
Yeah, yeah. AC's been meeting people through my connections too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's your fault that I'm friends with him now. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, I know. You have to disagree with him on a lot more stuff.
So, well, glad to have you on. Always a good time hanging out with you. And then for me, tomorrow I've got my next episode of Achievement Chasers with Dude. We'll be talking about our achievement hunting over the course of August. And then Monday, I will be starting a brand new stream. I'm going to be doing a weekly Monday stream called Metroidvania Monday, where I'm going to be playing a Metroidvania. And Monday, I will be playing the co-op of Journey to the Savage Planet with a dude from my Xbox community, Icefire. He's been on Top 5 Metroidvanias before. And then next Tuesday is the next episode of Top 5. We are doing Star Wars Games Part 2. And then at this time next week, on Wednesday, I will be on Carl of RNG Gaming Podcast for the stream where we're going to be talking about the best year in gaming. We all have a different year we're going to be talking about. And then I've got another open mic next Thursday with Mo Zamboni on the 12th. So great hanging out with you. You go have a fun stream on Zach's channel. Thank you guys for hanging out and chat. We will see you all later. Everyone have a good evening. And in the meantime, game on.
Peace.